Alright, ideally this video was supposed to come out on the 31st, but some technical issues got in the way. But now that 2017 is gone, it's time to count down my 10 favorite anime that came out last year. Now, I'll be excluding the likes of continuations of series such as Osomatsu-san, Gintama, Konosuba, Hero Academia, and New Game in order to give some spotlight to the many new series and movies that came out last year. But do keep in mind the series I just mentioned are some of my favorites of this year as well. Also note, due to the amount of BS I had to go through in my last video, I'll be sticking to openings, trailers, and images throughout this video for footage. Because getting worldwide blocked 3 times in a row is just one of the most frustrating things that could happen to a YouTuber. But with that, let's get into this.
Falcon!
Number 10. Starting off, we have Girls' Last Tour, a strange adventure series following 2 adorable blob girls as they travel the snowy leftovers of civilization. Well, many including myself went into the series thinking it was going to be something in the same vein as Summer's Maiden Abyss, in the sense of looking super cute but then quickly sucker punching you with its doom and gloom. And while there definitely are darker moments to be found here, as well as plenty of mystery to be explored in the world of the series, Girls' Last Tour is delightfully more hopeful, with a good balance of cuteness and philosophy. In fact, I would even say this series at times makes the apocalypse seem kinda cozy and peaceful, which is mainly thanks to the main characters, Yuri and Chito, whose friendship really makes this series. I love tuning in each week to see these girls travel this nearly abandoned world, uncovering some of its mysteries, learning about things from the past, with some deep conversations mixed in every now and then. It was a truly unique experience that I hope returns one day.
Falcon!
Number 9. Here we have A Centaurs Life, which I'll admit is a really fucking weird series, and this is coming from a guy that you all know loves his monster girls. But the weirdness is why I just love it so much. But okay, alright, what makes it so weird? Well, it's pretty much the way the series goes about its business. On one hand, it's your standard slice-of-life comedy with cute girls, but now taking place in a society of demi-humans. Which, okay, that's sort of strange. But the world building here is just so insane you wouldn't normally associate it with a cute girl slice of life series at times. As occasionally we see this series often bloody history take glances into the world's government as well as even its cults and conspiracies. It's just all so fucking wild, yet the way the series handles it so nonchalantly just makes it more mind-boggling. Though again, I love it for that. And like most Monster Girl series, I always admire the creativity it requires to make the daily life routines of these people feel real. Also, this series finally answers the questions on how exactly centaurs are able to put on pants, because honestly, I really needed to know how that works.
Falcon!
Number 8. At number 8, we have another Monster Girl series, surprise surprise, being an Interview with Monster Girls, another fantastic slice-of-life Monster Girl series following the most bro biology teacher ever, as he questions his demi-human students in order to learn more about them. Now, I'm not going to go in too much detail as to why I like this series so much, as in a sense I've already done that with the manga recommendation I did a while back, which surprisingly came out a few days before the announcement for the anime. Though in short, this is a really fun and cute series, and Succubus Sensei is a 10 out of 10.
Falcon!
Number 7. At number 7, we have Lupin III Ishikawa Goemon Spray of Blood, which was one badass and stylish ride, as well as probably one of the most violent things to ever come out of the Lupin franchise. Though it was a bit of a disappointment, very similar to another samurai that came back from the past. Now, most of these flaws are already described in the review I made a while back for Spray of Blood, but in short, what really held this movie back was, despite Goemon having the spotlight, it wasn't the right type of spotlight here. Then there's also the weaker villain, as well as following similar story beats to the previous Jigen's Gravestone. Despite the flaws, however, it truly delivers on the action, making it stand out, and seeing Goemon just cut loose is honestly one of the most awesome things that came out this year. Here's hoping we get another gritty Lupin movie this year.
Falcon!
Number 6. At number 6, we have Loo Over the Wall, a family film made by Masaki Yuasa, who most of you know by now I am a huge fan of. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I knew I had to see it as soon as possible, and luckily it didn't take too long for me to do so. Now, I won't go too in depth about my thoughts here, as this, along with the next movie on the list, I plan on properly reviewing sometime in the future. However, while the movie didn't exactly play out the way I thought it would, as well as had a bit of an issue with pacing, it was a really fun watch full of goofy yet spectacular visuals, which we've come to expect from Yuasa, paired with an awesome soundtrack that I cannot wait to give a full listen to, and of course there's a song Ututai no Ballad, which I can almost guarantee you'll give a few listens to after this movie.
Falcon!
Number 5. Following Loo Over the Wall, we have another Yuasa movie, being The Night is Short, Walk On Girl, which just felt amazing to watch through since I can finally see something else in the same style of Tatami Galaxy, which on top of being one of my favorite animes of all time, is just one of my favorite animes to just look at and enjoy its style. However, beyond that, this is a fantastic movie, much in the same vein as Tatami Galaxy, though nowhere near as fast paced. However, I do wonder how the experience of watching this movie would be for someone who has not seen Tatami Galaxy, as while not exactly a sequel, there are plenty of characters and references that honestly did have me question if it would sway my opinions. Though I guess I could further dive into this once I make a proper review later, but with that, let's move on to
Falcon!
Number 4. Maiden Abyss was quite the interesting series and probably one of my favorites to come out this summer. And while its beautiful and cute visuals mixed along with the sheer terror and shock of later episodes is probably this series' biggest selling point, what really brought me and so many others onto this series was its sense of adventure. Adventure is one of my favorite genres, and right off the bat this series had me hooked, with its insane world building and the many mysteries that come from the Abyss, along with its attention to detail that went into making that harsh nightmare of an abyss, along with the various creatures that live there. Now this may have been a bit higher on the list, though I did stop watching the anime midway through in order to read the manga because I really had to see how things progressed. And my god was it good, and I cannot wait for a season 2.
Falcon!
Number 3. Man oh man, was the hype real when I found out Little Witch Academia was getting a proper anime series. I loved the original short films, and my goodness, the way Trigger made the announcement for the anime in Space Patrol Luluko is probably just one of the best things ever. The anime has the same level of charm as the movies, and I just love how easily accessible it is, as it is one of the very few series I could easily recommend to absolutely anyone, ranging from all ages and even to those who aren't exactly anime fans. That being said, I did have a few problems with the series, which I might dive into a possible future review, as I felt that there could have been more time to better understand some of the characters, especially Aku's friends, and then once the series starts developing more of a plot, I'll have to admit those episodes are just nowhere near as fun as some of the more episodic episodes. Still, Little Witch Academia was a blast to watch through with some great pieces of animation, and I'm just glad Trigger was able to make a brand new original series with this level of quality.
Falcon!
Number 2. Ms. Kobayashi's Maid Dragon definitely started 2017 off right in the winter season, combining both slice of life and fantasy, and a crazy story about an office lady getting a badass dragon as a cute maid, along with meeting various other dragons along the way. Just like many of the other series done by the same author, the relationships built between characters here is amazing, and Kobayashi herself, despite being just a normal human, is perhaps the most interesting character in the whole series. Then we have the pure adorableness of Kana, and who can forget those dragon titties? And well, just dragons in general, because you know, dragons are just fucking awesome. But now the time has finally come for
Falcon!
Number 1. Once again, it's another short series that takes the top spot as one of my favorite series of the year, which is none other than Tazura Children, which still is quite a surprise to me when I was making this list, but when reflecting on everything I watched this year, nothing quite had me anticipating the next episode as much as this one. Now, for those who don't know, the series is basically a bunch of segments of high school kids and their pursuits with romance. That despite being a 12-episode short series, the relationships shown here actually do develop quite a lot throughout its run, adding a lot of enjoyment to see how each couple progressed or even regressed each episode. And on top of the romance, the comedy here was fantastic and probably some of the best I've seen this year from a series that was not a sequel. I really loved this series, as it was able to make me laugh as well as simultaneously melt my heart with the warm fuzzy romance antics, also sting each episode as I come to the cold realization that I'm still single. But yeah, Tzuru Children is definitely without a doubt my favorite series of 2017. While I think 2017 as a whole was a pretty good year for me personally, I feel 2018 is going to be even better. I mean, how can it not? We're starting off the year with fucking Devilman Crybaby! Anyways, with that, it is time to wrap up this video. Part of my New Year's resolution is to really get back into making YouTube content, as I've been heavily slacking lately. So be on the lookout for plenty of anime, manga, and tokusatsu reviews, recommendations, as well as a variety of other content heading your way sometime this year.